Hey, so I wanted to share a video kind of in line with the theme that we've been working on in class this week. So for those of you who don't know, my kind of ethos around yoga is about taking yoga beyond the mat. There's so many amazing things that we do in class, but there's so much more you can do with yoga. And speaking from my personal experience, so many aspects of yoga, breathing, meditation, relaxation, the yoga flow, but also the kind of underlying yoga philosophy has fundamentally changed my life, in particular managing mental health, so managing depression, anxiety, and just like everyday stress. And so this week we've been talking about morning routines. And this is something I've touched on before. It's something that has been really important for me over the last sort of 5 or 6 years. And what's been interesting and what I've realised recently is that I've suddenly had this kind of shift from where a place where I used to do certain things in the morning, possibly right at the beginning driven out of fear. I'd got to a bit of a crisis place. Things were really, really bad. And so I was building a morning routine to just try and get myself back to a place of feeling imbalanced. Now I've kind of got to a point where my morning routine is something I do because I love it and I really enjoy it and I love the time that I get and I love how I feel. And it's no longer something that I have to do or I need to do. It's something that I really enjoy. And there's been a few aspects to that that have been really important for me. I've had to realise that my morning routine changes and it adapts depending on where I am, if I'm travelling, if I'm at home, if I'm somewhere else. I kind of live between two houses. So that means that there's certain, depending on when I'm working, there's certain amounts of, sometimes I have more time, sometimes I have less time. Sometimes I'm more inclined to want to be outside, sometimes I want to stay inside. And so over time I've been adapting my kind of morning routine. And I've also started to realise that the things that worked for me before maybe are ready to change and evolve. And so before I used to have a really physical practice in the morning, at the moment it's not a very physical practice. And I've really enjoyed kind of playing around with exploring what my morning routine or morning practice, whatever you want to call it, is. And so this week I invited everyone in class to take a look at what their morning routine was. Because for most people, the first thing that happens is your alarm goes off. You look at your phone and if you've got it on airplane mode, which is what I do at night, you turn it off of airplane mode and you go straight onto social media, emails, text messages, and immediately you're straight in. Maybe that feels good for some people. What I've asked people to do this week is to just see how that feels. Because for me, doing that isn't the best way to start my day. I don't feel great. I feel quite heightened, quite like, right, got to do things, got to just, and it doesn't feel like a very nice transition into my day. But also it kind of sets me up to be quite heightened all day. And if you're stressed or anxious, you're kind of starting straight away in that kind of position. And so I'm acutely aware. I have my phone on airplane mode at night. When I wake up in the morning, ideally I generally wake up naturally kind of like 6:30 now, which is weird. Anyone who knows me would be like, really? I normally used to lie until like 10. I wake up at like 6:30. If not, my alarm will go off about 7, 7:30, and I don't turn airplane mode off. I go straight into what my daily practice is. At the moment it's breathing work and meditation, and I do it in bed. And so I've encouraged people this week to kind of see how it feels. What does it feel like to do whatever it is they're doing in the morning? Does it work for them? Does it feel good? If it feels good, then keep it. You know, we don't have to change things just because someone says what they're doing is better or it works better. It's for you, it's individual, it's always different. So there's some things that I've been suggesting as options for your morning routine, and it kind of draws on all the aspects of yoga that I use in class, and it very much is the underpinning idea of the workshop that I'm running in September. So it's drawing on things like breathing, meditation, relaxation, the flow, the movement, but also the underlying philosophy. So things like a gratitude practice, journaling, checking in with how you feel, being aware of what emotions are coming up and being able to sit with them and hold them rather than resisting them. So there's quite a lot of things that you can draw from. And it's kind of what I call your toolbox. You're kind of creating the toolbox that works for you. So all the things that I have for me might not necessarily work for you. And so the workshop that I'm running in September is called 21 Days to Change, Taking Yoga Beyond the Mat to Manage Stress and Anxiety. And the idea behind it is that in this workshop, we're going to spend 2 hours exploring all of these things you could be doing in the morning, all these things you could be doing in the evening, maybe part of your day. And then after that, so the workshop is day 1, and then for the following 20 days, we're going to have a WhatsApp group where I'll be sharing little tips, advice, and just kind of holding the space for you guys to start to get into your own routine. They say that 21 days helps to break or create a habit. It's a really good foundation for creating lasting change, hence the 21 days. And so rather than just doing a workshop, which is great and really fun to get together and try some of these techniques, what are we going to do when we step out of the workshop? Well, we're going to have this group together in the WhatsApp group, and we're going to see if we can, support each other, if things come up, problems, issues, kind of integrating into day-to-day life. Then we're there to kind of work on it and support each other. And the intention is by the end of the 21 days, you've got an idea of what works for you and how you want to start your day, maybe how you want to end your day. And maybe you have a package of kind of a toolbox. So when things get a bit heightened in the day, whether you're stressed at work or you're feeling a bit anxious traveling, or just something comes up for you that's a bit emotional, what can you draw on to help you feel like you can hold whatever it is that's going on? And it's not necessarily a case of pushing things away. Uncomfortable emotions come up. That's just part of life, and that's totally okay. But it's being able to sit in that place and hold that and be okay with that without getting into the temptation of wallowing in it. It's kind of this constant quest for balance, and balance is changing always, every day, depending on what's going on with you. So if you're interested in the workshop, get in touch. I'd really love to get a nice group together. It's going to be in Brighton and Revitalise. And then obviously afterwards it'll be completely remotely. For those of you who maybe can't make the physical workshop, if there's enough of you, I'm happy to create an online version for you. And then you can join in with the 21 days as a group, which would be really nice. So really just this week, I invite you to see what you do in the mornings, what feels good for you, how you start your day and how your day unfolds if you get straight up, get straight on your phone, get straight on your work emails, or whether you get up and take your time to do a bit of breathing, a little yoga flow, maybe just a quiet cup of tea, no TV, and just see how you feel, explore it, be curious. Have a good week.